Hi, my name is Patrick Roddie. I'm a self-taught photographer, best known for photographing Burning Man, and I've been going there for 13 years now, since 1998. And I had my book Hips published by Chronicle Books back in '05, and I'm arguably the best known Burning Man photographer. So stick around, I'll tell you some tips that I use when photographing people.
Welcome to the Marc Silber Show, Advancing Your Photography, where we bring you tips from remarkable photographers about how to take photographs you love. Patrick, thanks for joining us on Advancing Your Photography.
Thank you.
Now tell me about your approach to photography and the type of work you really love to do.
Well, I just kind of wing it. I photograph people, and the most important thing I find is the connection that you have with the person. They have to be at ease, first of all, and you do that firstly by keeping eye contact, you know. Like for example, when I'm taking pictures of Burning Man, I'm taking portraits. I mean, I'm always looking at that's your right eye. Mm-hmm. And whenever I'm going to take a picture, I just click and take a picture, never lose contact, and you just deal with them directly. And you look at them, you don't look at your camera, you're not futzing around at the back of it, which other people have mentioned. Mm-hmm. And I think it's really good to use all the cheats you can possibly use. Auto as much as you can, so you're not just, your focus is not, even if you're keeping your eye on someone, if your mind slips elsewhere, your subject knows it.
Right.
So what my trick that I do with all my Burning Man pictures is I'm going to use one lens, one mode, one focal length.
Wow.
It's 50. I shot everything up until last year in '09. I shot everything with 50mm lens and Velvia 50, rated at 40. So I know what my frame is. Mm-hmm. So again, you know, I'm looking at them, and all I have to do is click, and you know, there's no connection lost.
I get this question a lot in workshops about going out and getting those candid photographs. Now, Cartier-Bresson took the picture before the person realized they were there. But what's your approach? Do you ask permission, or do you just get it?
There's a mix. If there's a moment happening, you'll get it, then you ask and say, oh, hey, I just took this picture. And then usually get some more, and they'll be equally, but you know, they're happy.
Patrick, what are some of the key things that you use every time you pick up a camera, or even before you pick up a camera?
Okay, everyone needs to make sure that if something breaks, if you run out of juice, you run out of memory, you run out of anything, you've got a backup.
Yeah.
You do not want to be stranded with like your one body and it just jams up, or your lens drops in a fountain or something. You could always have something. You don't want to have to be taking pictures with your phone. Although I'm sure, you know, people get really hung up on equipment. It's, you know, your eye. You know, there's we were mentioning Bresson before. Like what he was using is like outclassed by an iPhone right now, really. You know, I mean, and Capra stuff. All you know, it's about what you're seeing. So don't get too hung up on equipment. But over time, you'll when you have your entire arsenal of lenses, depending on how many you have, you'll notice, you'll know different uses for each of them, but you should always have like a go-to bag. So it's almost like having an earthquake kit, you know, like something that you grab and you to run in a doorway or just go someplace. So you always have that pre-prepared. You don't have to have that all set up. And it's good to do your preparation, not just before you do the shoot, but when you finish the last one. That's when you recharge all your batteries and you clear out your cards and you do backups and all that sort of stuff, and just have that ready to go by the door, and then you're out. You've been shooting for a while and you have these favorite lenses. If you're shooting people, the most important thing is that you're keeping your connection with the person.
Yeah.
You do not want to have your mind go to equipment at all. So if you have something that you know exactly what it's going to do before you bring it up to your eye and press a button,
you got
that's the thing.
Yeah.
Then you'll get your decisive moment. And there's all kinds of tricks. You can just go near something bright, near shadow. Concrete's good, grass is horrible. As you're walking around to and from different locations, you keep watching your subject and just see what the light looks like on their face. Wherever you get in it, hopefully it's not in the middle of a crosswalk or something. Sometimes it is, unfortunately, but you just get the moment when the light just arrives. I don't try to create light, I try to find light.
Any tips for improving composition?
I try to get rid of anything that's not essential to the photograph. And when I see something I like, as I approach the person, because a lot of the times I use fixed focus and I have to come in, I use my feet to get the framing right. As I'm walking with my feet, it gives me more chances to I want to move that pillar from behind you or that whatever. Walk around, relax. And another thing, which also goes back to them being relaxed, is if there's something that's going to ruin the shot, behind the subject or some other way, keep shooting anyway, because if they think they're doing something wrong, they'll suddenly come out of their, I wouldn't say trance, but suspension of disbelief that there's no camera there. Mm-hmm. Just treat them like a human being, and they'll treat you like one. Yeah.
Okay, so tell me about your shoots at Burning Man. You've covered many, many years.
Yeah, I've been going since '98, and actually it changed my photography because up until '98, I was mostly shooting stuff, inanimate objects and trees and things, but mostly sort of forms. And for some reason, I thought I was shy, and I thought maybe I'd have some sort of bad reaction if I approached someone and asked them to take their picture because it was rude or intrusive or something. But at Burning Man, if you look at my first year there, the '98 stuff, there's a lot of pictures of stuff, but there's also some pictures of people. And I found them so welcoming and warm, and it was actually quite pleasant. From then on, I changed to being a people photographer. Even though I've got a journalism background, I never really thought of myself as that. And it transformed my work. It's tremendous.
Patrick, any final tips for people who just want to get better photographs?
Be yourself. Be yourself. Trust yourself. I mean, you might not have all the technical abilities, knowing all your f-stops and what an f4 looks like and the dynamic ranges and white balance, all that sort of stuff you can learn. Make sure you have your almost autopilot mode. There's a setup. It could be program mode or whatever it is, and an equipment you're extremely familiar with. So you can just go and do it and just be concentrating on what you're seeing as opposed to what you're seeing it with.
Patrick, thanks for joining us and for giving us an inside look at your world of photography. It's great to have you here.
Thank you for having me. It's been great. Thank you.
Be sure to subscribe to our blog now to stay updated on my show, and we'll give you tips and insight to keep advancing your photography. Also, check out our guests' website for a closer look at their work. Tune in to our next episode of Advancing Your Photography for an inside look at another photographer's world. Until then, this is Marc Silber reminding you to get out and capture your own images of life.